Okay. It says I'm live. Am I alive? I feel alive. Somebody tell me you can hear me. Check one, check. Cool. All right, so I think I'm up and ready. Hello, everybody. My name's Mike Meyers, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers Ask Mike Anything live stream. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies, concentrating primarily on the magic threesome of CompTIA A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus. However, we're here at Total Seminars, we're very comfortable with other CompTIA certifications as well as non-CompTIA IT certifications. We're probably a little weak on nursing certifications. You might not want to do that. But other than that, hello. So the goal of this live stream, Ask Mike Anything, is you ask me questions and I answer them. That's it. So in order to ask me questions, I need you to type in over here, right? I don't know how your screen's laid up. But for me, the chat window for YouTube is over here. So anytime you see me looking, it's because I'm reading the chat window. And you type in questions there, and I'll answer them. It's that easy. And you got it. So let me... All right. Now, I recognize that some people are a little shy. And for some people, you'd prefer to send me an email. So send me an email. I am michaelm@totalsem.com. If you're a gamer, I am Senor Pepe on Steam, and I'm DesWeds when in doubt. And so people are always like, Mike, what does DesWeds mean? Well, type it on a keyboard. D-E-S-W, it goes like this. It's a kinetic acronym. I can type real quick, and I never have to move my hand off the mouse. Duh. What a day. So a couple of things here, folks. I have some news. For me personally, I'm not going to share it with you, but what I am going to tell you, we're going to have a short day today on the AMA. We are giving away free practice questions. We are giving away a CompTIA voucher that works for any CompTIA exam. That's going to happen today, but unfortunately, we normally start at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas, and we run until 3 o'clock. Today, it's only going to be 30 minutes, so it's going to be a quick one. Now, for those of you who are on, that's a good thing, because I know a lot of you, and there's no evil in this, a lot of you are on here because you want to try to win a $400 voucher for free. That's not a bad reason of doing things. So it doesn't matter. We're gonna have that voucher, and that's absolutely going to happen today. So let me have a sip of my coffee real quick. Oh, I need some help. I found some hats. Before we do anything else, let me get this really, I can't get it. Oh, no one's ever going to be able to see that. It's in Greek, like the Greek language. And I think that this is a Greek Special Forces hat, but I'm not even positively sure. So I'm going to keep it on here. And then I also found this, and I just wear that because it makes me feel pretty. Dunder Mifflin. Okay. So anyway, while I'm in the chat window, in the upper left-hand corner where it says Top Chat, you might want to change that to Live Chat. Did I see my buddy Elaine Batzer? Elaine's here? Wow. I'm very excited. Elaine is going to be, she's got family in Houston, Texas, and she's going to be down this summer, and which I'm very excited. Elaine, I can't wait to have you come down. It'll be a hoot, and we're going to go, we'll go sailing while you're here. Da-da-da-da. And there's Andre. Andre, I've been a little worried about you, bud. I hope everything, just so you guys know, Andre's wife is Ukrainian, isn't she? Oh, I hope I got this right. Anyway, positive feelings heading out your way. Andre, make sure everything's cool. I know it's a trying time right now, and we're thinking about you, man. All right, so let me start at the very beginning. Jose Frias, I wish I can win a study course from Total Seminars. Well, Jose, we do... Total Seminars does videos, books, and practice questions, and you have a shot at winning practice questions for sure. So this is the place to do it. And also, even if you don't, we have some good discounts today. Oh, that's right. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Everybody today, just because you're nice enough to show up, gets. We have a bundle deal where it's ebook A plus, Net plus, Security plus, your choice. You pick an ebook, and then you pick what we call our practice questions, what we call our total tester. So you get an ebook and a total tester. So you get the A plus ebook and the A plus total tester, or the Net plus ebook and the Net plus total tester. Whatever, you pick the one you want. Get the book, ebook. It's got to be ebook. Get the ebook and get the practice questions. Just put those into your cart over at www.totalsem. That's TOTALSEM.com. And when you put it in the chart, you get 50 in the cart. In the cart, you get 50% off, which is a ridiculously good deal, and that's for everybody. All right. Tolwett's here. Good to see you, Tolwett. Alan's good here. Jose. Dave Rush, of course. Andrew Hutz, of course. Logan Bennett, the great Mike Strami. It is me. Mohammed's back again. Good to see you again, amigo. Mokhtar. Is that like one of those Klingon sounding names? Mokhtar kind of a thing? So I apologize for mauling your name, man. Alan Owens, you're from Sydney. Whoosh. Good day. Heavy D. Heavy D, you've been on before, I remember you. Brett Peterson. We got Nifty Glowing Cheese Brittany. JM, my buddy JM. Hi, what do you think of the new Steam Deck portable gaming PC? Haven't really seen it yet, man. Don't know, JM, sorry, buddy. Christina Strickland, it is a short day today, but we'll get all the prizes out, Christine, I guarantee. Joshua Sherman, Mike, I'm going over unicast, multicast broadcast stuff, and I got to wondering, is a Twitch YouTube stream the same as a multicast? No. It could be, but people just decide not to do that route. So with a YouTube stream, what you're almost always looking at is you have gone to a web page. And when you go to a very specific web page, my stream comes from the camera right here in front of me and transports through the internet, basically through YouTube. Let's say that's what. So in order to, you can't get on some 224 multicast address and watch this. You have to be on www.youtube.com/totalseminars channel whack to be able to see this. So different animals. Yeah, you don't see that very much anymore. Logan Bennett, can you explain the TCP/IP a little in depth? Logan, I'm laughing with you, man. Mike, can you explain World War II just a little, but in depth? Logan, I'm not going to be able to answer that question for you, but what I do challenge you to do, and because I want to help you, when I read a question like this, what I usually discover is somebody's just getting into something and they start learning and they miss something. This is always a big problem with instruction, is that I don't want to lose you. If you're reading or watching a video, I want to make sure that I'm keeping you in the game, like you're reading a novel, a good novel. And so when I see questions like that, what it usually tells me is that you've been watching something or reading something and you hit a wall, okay? And so the trick is, so you're looking at this, so you're reading, I don't know, maybe I don't know if you're reading my books, maybe you have somebody else's stuff, but you're reading about TCP/IP in some overview, because the fact you even put TCP and IP together shows me you're looking at an overview statement. Because TCP and IP, while they do work together, they're very different animals. And, I forgot I had my tiara on. It's a tiara! Let me get that off. So what you need to do is whatever this training material is that's confusing you, and it might be mine. I confuse people every day. I'm not ashamed to say that. I don't like doing it, but it happens. I want you to go back to wherever you started, or pick an arbitrary place that's further back in a video, further back in a book, further back in whatever you're doing, and find something to talk about. Let me give you an example. you might want to start by just talking about what is IP and how does that fit into things. The other thing I'd recommend you do is look over something called the OSI 7-layer model. I teach the OSI 7-layer model early on in network instruction because I find it to be a helpful tool, and I think you'll also find that beneficial. So please do that, and then come back and ask me detailed questions. You know, I mean, as you begin to understand stuff, you'll begin to ask more practical questions. Somebody's yelling. Hang on, guys, I want to make sure there's no trouble. Is everything okay? Hello? Well, I guess the gas has finally got to him. I don't know what's going on. Somebody just yelled really loud, and I think everything's okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Oh, God, it's already 2:11. We got to go, go, go. Kevin Peterson liked my tiara. Good. Can we get these in the UK too? Yes. Both the practice questions we're about to give away and the voucher works in every. If you're in a country there where you can take a CompTIA exam, these vouchers are good. They're completely international. Eski, hey Mike. Mokhtar, I was pronouncing your name right. Look at me. Tommy Tucka. Safmo. Hey, Saf. Hey, Mike, can you explain why there is no need to use MPLS in private WAN while we have IGP like OSPF, for example? Can you explain why there is need to use MPLS in a private WAN while we have IGP? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, Saf, it's very easy because MPLS is kind of like a virtual leased line. And with MPLS, even though it's expensive, you get a guaranteed amount of bandwidth. So you're looking at MPLS as a routing protocol. It's not. I mean, it leans on routing protocols. It's kind of like it's a little bit like a routing protocol, but it's kind of like a routing protocol that has a very specific pathway that you pay extra for and are guaranteed a certain amount of bandwidth for. So MPLS could be IGP is an interior gateway protocol. It just means a dynamic routing protocol. OSPF doesn't guarantee a bandwidth or anything. Different animals altogether. You pay for MPLS to an ISP. You configure OSPF on your own routers. I'm still a little cocky that I pronounced Mokhtar's name right. I feel good about that. Boy George, come a chameleon. JM, learning what I was talking about? Yeah, good. Thank you, JM. Jose Frias, I need the total tester. All right. David Mohan. The inventor, David Mohan, whose last name is now a verb. Guys, David Mohan was the first, now we have a number of people, but David Mohan was the first person to break the bank at Total Seminars. He kept showing up every show and always welcome. Love to see you again, David. And once so many times we kind of like said, get out of here. In fact, to win so much that we disqualify you means to be Mohand. So it's good to see you, Dave. Also, guys, do keep in mind that, oh wait, there was a question here. Which way do you use grep? Do you use grep followed by a letter or pipe? Yes. If I'm going to be using grep, we understand what grep does, right? Grep is a search tool which allows us to look through text files to find information, right? So I'm going to type grep, and then whatever my source is, and then I will pipe it. I'm not quite, grep, then a pipe is how I do that, David. I think, is there another way to do that? I'm not aware of other people do that. Andrew Hutz, I'm still mad that I never got banned for winning too much. Oh, worse than that, Andrew. I didn't ban you, I hired you, you poor bastard. Oops, sorry, not supposed to curse. I'm so bad. Saf Mo, Yeah, I've got only a few more questions, guys. I'm going to have to start doing the competition. How is IPv6 multicast neighbor solicitation different than a broadcast if it has to reach all hosts on the network? It doesn't have to reach all hosts on the network. It has to reach IPv6 hosts on the network. So when you set up a system to run IPv6, it by default starts listening in on certain multicast addresses. Look, if all you have are IPv6 clients, multicasts do look a lot like broadcasts. The thing is that when it sends out that, I cannot, FC01::8 or all these different multicast, when you're doing multicast with IPv6 folks, it's FC0 is what the address starts with, because we're all such IPv4 people, we're all like, oh, it's IPv, a multicast, therefore it starts with 224 or something like that. No, it doesn't. Anyway, if you have a network where everybody on the network is an IPv6 host, an IPv6 multicast looks a heck of a lot like a regular broadcast. The difference is that a true broadcast is going to be looked at and processed by everything regardless of what it is. IPv4, IPv6, anything. If it's Ethernet and it's on an Ethernet broadcast address, then everybody's going to read it. In order to actually process and read an IPv6 multicast, you have to be set up to catch and process, not just throw away, a packet that starts with FC0. That's the difference. Maddie Nasser, I started learning network last week and I got down to the IP subnetting. Maddie, if you're learning IP with me, you are going to learn subnetting pretty much out of the block. The problem is so many people get paranoid about subnetting that I've learned if I teach subnetting extremely early in the process, they'll get there. Oh shoot, Dave Rush is helping me with the grep question. Dave, you're absolutely right. Thank you for giving. He actually put up an example where grep is followed by the pipe, where the pipe is followed by grep, and you're absolutely right. Cat, file name, pipe, grep, and then whatever you're searching on. Thank you, David. That's why you make the big money, man. 218. Kevin Peterson. Rahabar Buyan. I started studying for Network Plus, but it's extremely overwhelming. Any tips, please? Anytime you're overwhelmed in training, that means you're moving too fast. Stop moving so fast. Like I said earlier, if learning is this process where over time you're gaining more knowledge, right? Sometimes you just hit walls, right? Then you kind of flatten out like that. So what you have to do is you got to go back to wherever it was where you stopped learning and go back here and reread or rewatch, okay? And more importantly, you learned something to get you to that point, right? So you're at this point, there is something else that is not just overwhelming. There was a very specific thing that you're like, what? What is this? That's where you need to concentrate on your studies. And slow down, you're fine. You should never be overwhelmed. Especially if you're using my training materials, I would be very unhappy in that situation, but it's okay. Kevin Peterson, can you explain usefulness of partitions to the average user? Well, you have to have partitions. You cannot make a mass storage device work without a partition. So it's not a benefit, it just is. It's like saying, explain the benefit of electricity to a smartphone. Well, you just got to have it. In order to even talk about smartphones, we got to get the thing powered up just so we can at least get in the right place, okay? So partitions exist on, let's think about classic hard drives or SSDs, whatever you want. There is a certain amount of space that has to be turned into a logical thing. In essence, each partition, if a hard drive is a house, then partitions are rooms. And in today's society, because partitions can be very, very big, it's not uncommon to take one physical hard drive and turn it into, like, if in Windows, like one big C drive. But me, for example, I like to use a secondary partition I will have all of my I'll have my users folder moved over to a secondary partition. I will also, depending on how much space I got, I'll move programs over to another partition. Those are the two folders that grow the most over time in Windows. And in preparation of one day having to, there's a D drive, but then I can later put in a great big another drive and make it the D drive and turn the old D drive into the E drive or whatever. So you get the idea. So I can make more space. It's easier to do like Windows rebuilds and stuff like that. But in general, most people will just make one big partition and they leave it at that. For most people, partitions are fairly transparent because we live in a world of one big root drive these days. So, okay, guys, I can't do any more questions today and I apologize for that. Dual boot, Tommy Tux. Oh, recovery partitions. Tommy Tux, that's a good point. Partitions aren't just for storing your data. Recovery partitions, system boot partitions, those things. In Linux, it can even have swap partitions. But that's kind of a different animal. But very, very good point. All right, let's do some competitions. I apologize we have a short day today, but let's get some stuff, man. Whoa. So what I'm doing right now, guys, again, we're going to do Network Plus because I had it on for Monday. Interesting. So we're going to do a Network Plus question. This first competition, we're going to have two competitions, one right after the other, then we're done for the day. This first competition is for free practice questions. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this competition. Now, folks, number one, this competition is not fair. So if you're one of these people who is driven by a sense of ultimate righteousness in all things in your life, you're not going to like this contest. I try to make it fair, but there's too many moving variables and we miss stuff. So I'm going to put a question up on the screen. You are going to read the question and the first person to write out the answer. Yeah, I know it's a multiple choice test, but don't write A, B, C, or D. We tried that early on and everybody just kept writing A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So you need to write out enough of it so I know what you're talking about, and that's my opinion. The first person who puts up the correct answer wins. However, just because you think you're the first person, that's not necessarily what shows up on my screen. So do keep that in mind as well. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this, and let's start with our first question. You people, you ready? Here we go. What is the primary defining characteristic of a loopback address? In fact, I don't even like the way this question's worded. I'd rather say, which of the four is most true about the loopback address? So I need you to read those potential answers, and the first person who writes down the correct answer in the chat window is going to win 90-day access to whatever practice questions that Total Seminars has. We got lots of them. Okay. Let me put it back. Let me put it back. I'll put it back. There we go. Okay, people start yelling at me. I had to check. I wasn't quite sure what the answer was. All right, do we have any answers popping up? All right, I see some answers. Okay, David Mohan, grep answer. You're funny. Funny, funny, funny. Okay, I see some answers here. All right, so let's look at this one together. All right, the last two are definitely not right. Loopbacks do not have to be physical ports. So it's the first two. Number one, it is always on, and B, it is assigned the address of. So folks, there are situations where you can use other than 127.0.0.1. So the answer's gotta be it's always on. Oh, by the way, this is the Total Tester product, folks. This is the one you guys are competing for right now. So the answer is A, it's always on. Now you may say to yourself, but Mike, it has the address of 127.0.0.1. Well, do me a favor. Open up your command prompt right now on a Windows system and ping 127.3.4.5 or ping 127.0.66.2. If you ping anything that starts with 127, you'll get a loopback response. So the only thing you can absolutely guarantee is the loopback's always on. Now, who is the winner? I have too many windows. All right. I'm looking for the winners. Sorry, guys. We get partitions. David Mohan, what are you doing, man? Grip hands. You're a funny kid sometimes. All right, so we have a winner. The winner is Two Little Horses for Me. Two Little Horses for Me. Congratulations. Big round of applause. You are the winner of 90-day access to the practice questions you want. Two Little Horses. In order to get your prize, you have got to answer. Number one, Two Little Horses for Me. You have to send an email to my buddy Dave R. Dave R at totalsem.com. In this email, you must, number one, put your YouTube name, that Four Little Horses dot whatever, what is it? What are you? Two Little Horses for Me. That has to be in the body of the email. Number two, your email address. Now you might say, but Mike, I'm sending you an email, just use the return address. No, no, no. You've got to put your email address into the body of the email you're sending Dave. And then number three, of course, tell us which practice exam you want, and we'll make sure it gets to you. The Total Tester is a completely online solution, so anybody can win as long as you have a web browser, and that you're watching me here on YouTube probably means you do. So we're good. All right. Also, do keep in mind, Little Horses, Two Little, this wacky name. Where do you go? Where do you go? Two Little Horses for Me. What, I was about to say one more thing. Oh yeah, I think we got it all in there. Brian, a loopback interface is a physical port installed. Brian, no it ain't, man. I can show you lots of cheap network cards where you don't even have to put a loopback device in and loopback works fine. It's because it's completely fake. Because a network card will see that command and he'll just, is everything okay? I'm getting an error. I hope I'm still on. We'll see what happens. What was I about to say? Oh, and it'll just run, it'll run through the card and never actually use the physical port itself, Brian. So, in fact, this is one of the reasons why, like on server systems and such, well, one of many good reasons, where people buy high quality NICs and don't use the built-in card. Thank you, Dave. Don't use the built-in card because big, burly, real network cards, not only will they require a real, they'll do 3 loopbacks. First it'll do a loopback from the switch back to your system. If you're plugged into a switch, it'll loop back through the switch. That's one thing it'll do. The second thing it'll do is you can actually use a loopback device, which is basically just a way to crimp a little piece of UTP, and you snap it in the network card, and it will use that. All right, that is a true physical loopback. And then you can also unplug that, and if it's not there, it'll just run a little internal test like the cheap cards do. Interesting, huh? All right. Two little horses for me. I had 2 little horses. All right. Oh no, Brian, there's nothing wrong with guessing, man. Okay, that was so much fun. Let's do it again. So we're going to do this time, and I'm just sorry. I would love to tell you why I got to leave so early, but I can't, so we're going to keep it to myself. Okay, this is a good question. All right, this is actually not that hard of a question. So, the challenge of the question, we're about to compete for that free CompTIA voucher, okay? This voucher works for any CompTIA certification. I was told there was a problem with CYSA Plus, but that was about it. I know it's 2:30, I gotta go. It works for anything. Here we go. We're going to do this. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. This is actually a pretty easy question. Which of the following technologies enables multiple operating systems to run at the same time on a single machine? Which of the following technologies enables multiple OSs to run at the same time on a single machine? Is it virtual machines, bonding, multiple hard drives, or multi-boot? Come on, guys, put some answers. We got to go. We got to go. Wow, we have a lot of people getting the right answer. All right. All right, so if we take a look at this, the right answer is a virtual machine. Although I love this because like multi-boot certainly allows you to run multiple operating systems, but just not at the same time on a single machine. But all good. Hold on. Incoming message from Dave Rush. Yeah, Dave, Andrew, I got this one. Okay, so the winner today and the person is about to win a free CompTIA voucher is Tommy Tucka, Tommytuka. And luckily your buddy David passed on that. Tommy Tucka, you are the winner. Congratulations, Tommy. You have won a free CompTIA voucher. So depending on what CompTIA exam you take, this could be worth up to $400. So congratulations. So Tommy, in order to get your prize, you've got to do a couple of things. You ready? So Tommy, number one, send an email. Tommy, you got to do this. Number one, send an email to daver@total7.com. In that email, put your YouTube name, Tommy Tucka with the A, put your email address in the body, put your name used on previous CompTIA certifications. If this is your first certification, then just use your legal name. On there, also put in the email, put your country of residence. If you're in the USA, also add your state. Next, put the country where you will take the exam. Some people live in little countries and go to other countries to take the exam. Fine with us. Just tell us where you want to take the exam. And then last, put the exact number of the exam you want. So, for example, don't just put A+, put A+ 220-1002 or whatever that might be. So, Tommy Tucka, congratulations to you. Folks, do keep in mind that we do this all the time. I'm here every Monday and Wednesday, and my buddy Dave Rush is on Fridays right here at the Total Seminars channel on Fridays at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. So until then, guys, I've got to go. I got a crazy day today. Love seeing you guys. Dave will be here on Friday giving away all kinds of fun stuff, and I'll be back on Monday. Until then, I'm out of here, folks. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.